also like, so how do you deal with that, mentally, like on a day-to-day basis, I kind of have firsthand experience. I hear, some of the
Some of the cursing.
frustrations. Yeah, so, but you still proceed. And so how do you handle, like some of these things that get frustrating, especially when a lot of it has to do with a world in a world that you don't really have a background in? So, how do you deal with those frustrations, and how do you propel yourself forward?
I'm stubborn. Um, so um, Lexi doesn't like this, but I always think I'm right. So I think that's a
Well,
big
he is.
part
I
of it.
do have to say, and he is right a lot of the
A
time.
lot of the time.
A lot of the time, more than I would give him credit normally. So save this in the bank, replay it
I
over and
can't
over
wait to.
again,
I'm so glad this is going to be on Spotify for all of
replay
humanity.
Cut clip.
it.
This is going out in the universe as well. I love this. It's a yeah. How yeah. So I think that's one thing is that I think you have to be a little stubborn and just like know that it's the right answer, right? I
Yeah, believe in yourself.
Yeah, it's not even like believe in yourself. It's like, well, of course it has to work, right? How can it not work?
Yeah, but that's real belief. That's real,
Yeah,
it already works.
right.
I'm just putting that energy
It's
out
real
there.
indoctrination. Like you are really indoctrinated into the church of yourself,
I
right?
love
And
that.
your ideas.
I love that. I love that.
There are pros and cons to such an approach, but that's, the basic, I think, explanation of it. And so I talked about Elon Musk earlier. He had a really funny answer when someone said, he's being interviewed about like, what kind of advice would you give someone who's thinking about starting a company and is kind of not sure about what to do? And he said, well, if they're not sure, don't start a company because like you have to be like 100% like this has to happen.
Yeah.
Like the sun is going to rise tomorrow and this company is going to happen. Like that has to be, and you can't force that. Like you have to have that. Now there are a bunch of ways you can trick yourself into thinking that. But I think that's what underlies every kind of frustration, every kind of this didn't work out or whatever is the core foundation of indoctrination in your church of yourself and your and it's not like egotistical self. I think that's important distinction to make. Like one thing I'm